Okay, okay. Welcome to Dial In. I lose my voice just when I'm trying to introduce things. Hi, my name is the Acapellist. We have a guest on Dial tonight that is the lovely and talented Mandy Dececco Kolebaba. I can tell you about Mandy. She is a Rotarian. Her husband Dean. He's a great guy. She's got three boys. Three boys. Jack is the oldest. Jude is the youngest. The middle one, I always forget his name. What's his name again?
Leo.
Leo. Why do I? Okay, anyways, the three boys. She's been involved with Rotary since she was like a teenager. She's an addictions coach. She's a management consultant person. She's a community contributor. Mandy, you're an amazing human being. I'm glad to be hanging out with you. So, and Dr. Diane here, she's a pretty big deal. So, like, you know what? I'm just gonna, so I don't talk too much tonight. I'm gonna try and restrain myself, and you and Diane have a conversation. That's got my plan.
All right.
Okay. By the way, Diane just wrote a book. Is it for sale now? Is it available for sale, Diane?
You know what, Alan? They came today.
They came today.
They came today, and my website went live today.
Nice. Well, then get me a link so I can do that. Could This Be Grace is the book that Diane has wrote, and it's about an experience that a parent should never, ever have to have, and how, she's taken that and made it into a positive, a life-affirming, a growth type of an experience. It's an amazing story of resilience. So resilience and grace.
Thanks.
Yes.
My website's easy, Alan. It's dianemcconnell.ca.
That's pretty simple. I think I can remember that. Okay. You don't even have to send me a link then. So
yeah, all one word.
Okay. Sounds good.
dianemcconnell.ca.
All right. Excellent. And the book, Could This Be Grace, is available there now.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yes. So Mandy, go ahead. Ask Mandy some questions.
I was just going to say, hi, Mandy. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi, Diane. I'm happy to be here.
Have you? And we've never met.
No.
So start us off. Give me a little bit of context in terms of who you are, what you do. How did you meet this guy, Alan, up there? and he enticed you onto the show.
Well, Alan and I go way back from Rotary, really. And when I was the club president, I was pregnant and then had a newborn in tow. And Alan always kindly rocked my baby while I was at the podium introducing guests, or walked him around and danced and sang with him so that I could do what I needed to do. And yeah, we've just built a friendship ever since then.
Nice.
I was the Rotary grandpa. It was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that. So yeah.
So tell me a little bit about Rotary. Let's start there. What are some highlights of Rotary? What are some things that, some stories that jump out that you'd like to share maybe with me?
Okay. Well, I have always been passionate about Rotary. It really came from when I traveled with the University of Lethbridge to Malaysia to do a work-study program there. And I, along with my friend, were teaching English in one of the schools. And we wrote a play in English for the students to perform, and found out afterwards that money that was raised at the play went to help purchase a van for the seniors that couldn't get around in Malaysia. And the president of that club kind of took me under his wing and said, if you ever come back, I would love to host you. And 2 years later, my sisters and I went back. And I was about to graduate from university, and he said, really think about Rotary. It's amazing. And just seeing everything that he had done in, essentially a third world country for the people there as president, I was like, absolutely. So I came home, sent an email, just a random email, searched Rotary. And one of the gentlemen that managed the webpage came and said, okay, I'm taking you for lunch. And that was it. I was like 25 years old. I sat with all the guys who were in their 80s. They took me under their wing, and it's been an amazing experience. And now I'm like one of the older ladies. So,
So when you traveled as a youth, were you on Rotary Youth Exchange?
No, I wasn't. It was just a work experience program through the university with the Management and Fine Arts Department.
Oh, okay. Good. So
Diane, one other thing too I forgot to mention is Mandy is a huge advocate and spokesperson for Stars Air Ambulance. And because of a situation she had with Leo, right? Leo was the one who required Stars Air Ambulance and saved his life, and she's a very vocal advocate for Stars.
Yes, that's our family, kind of something we do as a family. Leo was saved. He was 10 weeks old. He had severe RSV. Stars came and picked him up. He was on life support for a week, and then had some neurological issues from all of the drugs, of course, that kept him alive. And so wherever we can, we help promote and support Stars, because without them, our middle guy would not be here.
So Mandy, what's RSV?
It's a lung infection. And so it's prevalent in babies, but some babies can't overcome it. And Leo was 10 weeks old and he was a jumbo. Like, everybody was shocked how sick he was. And for about 3 days, I just noticed that he was really phlegmy, kind of feverish, and then his breathing started to change. So we went to the emergency department. We were there at the hospital in Lethbridge for about, 8 hours or so, and then he just started to crash, and it was not getting better. The doctors came and said, I think you need to come and say goodbye to your son, as they were trying to intubate him. And then Stars walked down that hallway, and it was such a relief because they took him right to Children's Hospital.
In Edmonton?
In Calgary.
Oh, in Calgary.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, I'm from Edmonton. Once an Edmontonian, always.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, he went to that other place, Calgary.
Yes.
Wow, that is a good news story. That's a really good news story. So our family also supports Stars. So
that's awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
and
good.
did you have a story in your family die? Well, you would have, like with one of your boys that Stars had to respond at one point?
No, but we certainly had so much relationship with hospitals.
Yes.
And all the time I spent there, I watched them come on to the roof of the hospitals and know how incredibly amazing they are. We did have a little bit of a touch with it when my son was on a Rotary exchange, and it was for his grade 12 year. And it's a really interesting story, Mandy, because when he was in high school, he's in high school, but he's a totally blind guy. And when the Rotarians came to the high school talking about the Rotary exchange program, he showed up at the meeting because he was destined to travel in his own mind. And the Rotarians went, oh my gosh, we've never exchanged a kid with disability before, so we're not sure about this. So he kept coming back. They were hoping he was just going to go away, go away, but he didn't. He kept coming back and coming back. So they had a private meeting to say, all right, we're at the line. We have to either tell him to go away, this isn't going to work, or we're going to have to figure out how to make it work. And they agreed that they would figure out how to make it work. So
that's amazing.
They went to the conference and asked around to all of the Rotary clubs at the conference, the Rotary exchange kind of youth conferences, and the Rotary Club from Brazil.
Wow.
And they said, we're kind of curious and interested about this. And what they did is they broke protocols to support the exchange. And so they put Ben into a home in Brazil that had a boy that was blind.
Wow.
And they weren't Rotarians, but they were friends of Rotarians and known in the community. But they thought because they were raising a blind son, they would be comfortable to host a blind student. And in return, they exchanged a visually impaired girl that came to live in our home.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah. So we had a little Brazilian girl that stayed with us, and she was amazing. And Ben was in Brazil. And the sad part of the story, he was supposed to be there for a year, but 3 months in, he ended up in hospital, and he had all these kinds of complications, and they weren't able to treat him because he was international. So they needed to get him home quickly. And their best guess at the time was that he needed a liver transplant. So it
my
was
goodness.
Emergency Stars guys that met us in Edmonton when we arrived from Brazil, and they were kind of all lined up and prepared for liver transplant is what happened.
Wow.
So we weren't actually transported by stars, but we were certainly supported by the team that works in that way.
Wow, that's an amazing story.
Yeah.
Are you in Lethbridge, Diane?
No, I'm in Nordegg.
Oh.
At the moment. Do you know where Nordegg is?
No.
No, lots of people don't know where Nordegg is. It's on the David Thompson Highway, and it's between Rocky Mountain House and the Saskatchewan Crossing, which is kind of midway between Jasper and Banff on the Parkway. And so we're halfway between Rocky Mountain and Saskatchewan Crossing.
Okay.
Yeah. In the forest.
Mandy, for the last couple of years, has been very actively involved with Indigenous people, and especially with harm reduction, opioid dependency, ending opioid reduction. Those kind of topics is what Mandy's been investing a significant amount of her time and energy in, for personally and through her company called Collaborative Strategies. So, it's to be an ally to Indigenous people. I have found, and as a Mandy, it is a challenging thing sometimes. It's you have to kind of, you have to go a lot slower. You have to just kind of slow things down a bit and really take a lot more time with the conversations, I find. Would you agree, Mandy?
Yes, I think it's about ensuring trust, respect, understanding, ensuring that you're educating yourself along the way and not always expecting the education to come from the people. So sometimes it's, slow in making decisions just based on the fact that, oops, I just was accidentally doing an SOS on my watch.
Oh okay. All right.
So sometimes I find it's just ensuring that, instead of answering questions that I might not be fully aware of what the situation is, going and taking the time to educate myself or asking questions to people that I know will answer them, so that I'm making a decision that is proper, sensitive, and ensures that relationship can stay strong. But well, yes, it's more of recovery. I've been working with the recovery coaches in Lethbridge. So it's focused on walking people through the path of recovery through a cultural and Indigenous lens. And it's a pilot project in Canada. So it's really interesting work. And I'm just an external supporter and with oversight and data and evaluation. And it's been a really amazing experience.
Yeah, and really helps to set the kind of, it's obviously there's a lot of work that needs to be done in this area. The overdose deaths are still at a very, very brisk pace. The people who die are getting younger, I'm told, right? So, and it's just like families are like decimated, right? Like Alvin was telling me today, he knows of one family, the wife, the father, the two sons, one daughter died. There's one son left. Everybody else dead from overdoses. So, yeah. So, man, that's hard work to maintain a positive outlook on and not be crushed by that kind of, that kind of suffering, right? So,
right. So, Mandy, I'm curious. You're an addictions counselor, but you also.
No, I'm just a mental health counselor. I didn't specialize in addictions.
Okay. So you're a mental health counselor, but you also have an organization, Collaborative Strategies, that you founded?
Yes.
Is that right?
So my about 3 years ago, almost 4 years ago, I've always been lucky enough to either be in business or be in leadership. And I thought it is a really lonely place to be. And you can't always take everything to your staff or the people that are around you. So when I, having 3 little kids at home, going through, a year of my middle son being sick, I just kind of had this aha moment where I was like, I want to do more for businesses than what I was currently doing. So I went back to school, got my master's of counseling psychology, all with the idea that I would bring corporate counseling to businesses where we could have one-on-one conversations, not only about how their mental health is in the workplace, but also leadership. And then with all my, 20 years of business experience, I can also help them with budgets and strategic planning and feasibility studies and all of those types of things. So combining really like this wholehearted approach. But my heart has also always been in the nonprofit sector. So as my company's evolved, I get pulled into that nonprofit world, which I love, because they're the ones that really benefit from not only that leadership support and development, but the strategic planning, the operational oversight, the organizational reviews, looking at funding agreements, looking at programming. And so that's, probably I would say half of my business right there.
And look at Mandy knows very well how lonely the executive director position in nonprofits can be. It's like a you're on a mountain by yourself kind of a thing, right? So yeah.
So how big is your company? How many people do you work with?
There's two of us that work directly for Collaborative Strategies, and we work with dozens of companies. So from nonprofits to big corporations, yes, it's been really great. We work hard, almost too much at times, but it's really exciting to see, just 3 years in, and I only finished my master's last year, how much we've grown and how much people have appreciated and bought into this idea, where I thought, you kind of think maybe I'm the only one that would have liked this support. But lots of people really appreciate just having, like, I call myself a temporary business partner, really. And then we're looking after mental health as well. So, sometimes it's not the business that's the problem, it's the home life. So how can we, talk about that and give you some space there so that, when you're coming to work, you're not taking it out on your staff, or your business isn't being affected. And then vice versa. Sometimes it's that business is taking up too much time, and it's walking through why the family life isn't so good. It's like my passion. It doesn't feel like work. I love it. And then I get to do my passion projects, like working with the Indigenous recovery coaches, Alvin Mills, the Lethbridge Food Bank, SAG, all of these not-for-profits that I've loved and supported. And now I get to see the inside, and it's amazing.
So how do people find out about you?
I don't know. I don't know how.
She's not looking for herself. So she's not looking for herself. So she knows how to find herself. But yeah, everybody else is.
So I have a website, and but we've been really lucky. It's mainly word of mouth and referrals. And I think, being that I have been a Rotarian for so long, I've been referred by tons of Rotarians. So yeah, my company's called Collaborative Strategies Consulting Inc. And it's exciting.
Hey, Mandy, why don't you talk about your business hub?
Oh yeah. And so then I'm also, partners in this Round Street Business Hub. And there's about 17 businesses. We all share offices, or we all have our own office, but then we share common spaces. We share a boardroom. And it's a really neat philosophy where, it lowers the cost for everyone to have external offices, but creates that environment that you sometimes miss when you're part of a bigger company. So that's in downtown Lethbridge, and it's a great place, and it's a beautiful building.
It is very nice, nicely laid out, nice common areas. Yes. Do you have any spaces available at this time now?
We do have a couple of spaces available.
Good to know. Good to know. A lot of people evaluating their office space, right? Do we need as much space? Do we, what is our office presence going to be? That kind of a thing, right? So it's, there's a great time to kind of revamp what you got happening there to make a better fit to go forward with our new reality. So yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah, cool. Yes, go ahead.
So you're not working as a mental health therapist then?
I do that one day a week for Family Ties Association. And that offers me a different clientele. And I was really lucky. I had a great place to do my practicum. I had great supervisors. And when they asked if I wanted to stay on, and said, yeah, you can do one day a week, that's what I do there. And it kind of allows for a different approach, because there I'm part of a team, a part of a clinical team, and I get supervision. So I can really keep keep my skills up to date and work on them and ask lots of questions. So I enjoy that too.
On that day, Mandy, how many patients would you see? How many clients would you see on your day when you're doing family ties work?
On my busy days, I would see clients every hour from 9 to 5.
Ooh, wow. Man, that's a decompressed day after that. I bet you really need to kind of.
Yes, that day I'm exhausted, but I find that I did try before where I would kind of split it up. But I find that I'm better if I am in the zone all day than trying to switch gears all the time. I have to really my husband always laughs because he knows when I have counseling because I put on my therapy sweaters and I even like dress different, I guess. So
Do you work in the schools?
no, I don't. No.
Do you want to work in the schools?
I would, yes. And I've done like some workshops in the school. So myself, along with an artist, did art therapy in the schools, which actually was really great because, when kids are concentrating on journaling and drawing and getting their feelings out on paper, you can ask them lots of questions. And so I actually had one of the girls from that class, she's been my client for, oh my gosh, a long time. And she signed herself up and asked if I would take her on as a client. And yeah, all from just visiting with one of these kids in art therapy. It was amazing.
Mandy is also very supportive of music with her boys. Her boys are all taking lessons and singing and dancing and bridges. Talk about bridges a bit, Mandy.
Well, that's our violin teacher Dececco's charity, where her goal, which I just love, was to bring fine arts to everybody. So it is for families of lower income to have their kids get music lessons. So she teaches violin and it's an after school program. So the kids all get instruments. They have a safe place to go after school. They're learning music, valuable skills, working that other part of their brain. And I feel so lucky that my kids get to have their lessons with her on her one day that she still teaches. So yeah, well, you know me, Alan, like once somebody's in my heart, they're in my heart forever, and I'll try to figure out a way to support them.
Yeah, she's a lovely person who just is so engaged with helping. She has so much satisfaction from giving these kids this experience that otherwise they might never ever have, right? Like to have a violin in their hand, right? Like, I mean, how would that happen otherwise, right?
So, yes, yeah. She's amazing.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, no, I think that's great.
How many kids does she have that she's teaching?
I'm not sure exactly how big the program is. I know she's hoping to expand it because I think she was at maximum capacity this year. And she's so lovely. And, but she's also pretty tough. Like she'll call my boys out when they haven't practiced enough. She knows. And she'll be like, you know what? I think the lesson should maybe end today because this doesn't sound very good. So, but she's also super patient and she's a really good teacher.
So I don't know if you know this, Di, but Mandy's long-term plans is she's going to get her boys doing the boy band thing, and then she's going to be the manager, take them out on the road, right? Is that the plan, Mandy?
Yeah. We were trying to convince them that they should be busking, and I was like, they could be the Baba Buskers.
Exactly. That's right. That would work.
How old are they?
Four,
at the beginning.
4, 7, and 10.
4, 7, and 10. That's awesome. And do they play together when they play the violin?
They have. So the 4-year-old hasn't started yet. He just pretends plays. So he'll pull out the little baby violin that we have and he'll play. But my big boys have like done little duets together throughout the years, which is like just so heartwarming.
Nice.
And I think if I'm following your Facebook pictures correctly, I think probably you've been saving money to buy instruments by not buying the boys any shirts. They never wear shirts, so they got money to buy instruments. Is that how it works? Or
I don't know why my kids never wear shirts. Shirts and socks. It's like as soon as they get home from school, the shirts and the socks come off.
Yeah, I could understand that. Yeah. Cool. That was funny. The story you shared about about having Jack go meet with Barry's grandson, and they had such a beautiful weekend and all kinds of experiences. That was super nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all, like, first of all, I didn't know I would get so many questions about myself on this. So it's kind of overwhelming. Really, I'm sharing the whole story. But it just shows how much everything is about connection.
Yes.
And that when you build those relationships, other people will benefit or get to be a part of something. Like, had it not been for Rotary, and me and my boys and my husband, like, we're a pretty tight knit little family. Jack had never been away from us with anybody other than family for 2 days, and he's always had a brother with him. So to let him go was a bit nerve-wracking, but I've known Barry for, oh my gosh, like 15 years. And I just knew that he would have so much fun. And it was like my mind was at ease. Like, yeah, no, absolutely. And Barry and his wife just treated him so well. So
Nice.
It was a good experience. But yeah, he was like, when Barry said, okay, a week in the summer, Jack, I'll take you. And Jack said to me, like, Mom, I really want to go, but I think you might need to come with me.
So what happened? Where did Barry take him?
To his cabin with his son for reading week, or his grandson for reading week. So he just had these boys on side by
Quads and
side.
snowmobiles, and yeah. He had a whole series of activities ready for them. So yeah, it was great. And obviously he enjoyed it. Barry certainly got a big charge out of doing that, right? Making
it was really nice
for the boys there. Yeah. So yeah, that was awesome. Nice. So Mandy, we never even told you what this show was really about, but basically maybe we'll tell you now that we're near the end of it. We'll tell you what it's really about. It's an opportunity for people to talk about themselves and their authentic self to the degree that they wish to share. So if they wish to share something that's on the fringes, a little bit unusual, we are a willing and accepting audience to say, wow, okay, that's real interesting. So basically it's a safe place, if you will, to share about your authentic self. What is there about you that you'd want others to know that we might not know about you? I know you pretty well. Diane doesn't know you pretty well, but there's, what are the things that are there things that you would like to share?
There's things.
Yeah. Yeah. So there's things you want to share that like we wouldn't know that would be valuable perspectives for us to know about you, Mandy.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, here, let me ask you this as a starter question. Do you think you are a spiritual being having a human experience? Do you believe that?
Or am I a human having a spiritual experience?
I'm going with I'm a spiritual being having a human experience is the way I'm reading it. But what's your thoughts? Have you've thought about this, obviously? So
yeah, I think that, and I know that you and I have talked about this before. I won the lottery in life. I was born in Canada. I'm white. What do I have to complain of? And of course, everybody has the trauma from childhood or issues that they've had to overcome. But I was really lucky, and I had parents, and my dad specifically, who always said, no matter how bad you think you have it, someone else has it worse. And so when you're feeling bad, your job is to find that person who's feeling worse and make it better. And so that's kind of, I have 3 sisters, and that's how we've always been raised and kind of lived our lives. Like, my sisters are exactly like me, where, it's where my husband and my brother-in-laws just always laugh about who's going to be moving in with us and who are we going to be saving today. But that's really what it was all about for us growing up.
Yeah. So your dad was a very, a very caring, generous man, or still is. He's still with us, right?
No, my dad passed away when I was 25.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Gee, how come I didn't realize that? Anyway, so he was obviously a very caring person. And this was his philosophy to you, that there's always somebody who's in a worse off situation than you. Your job is to extend an offer to help them to kind of move along with their life, to help them, assist them at their path and their journey.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he believed that that was, and he was like that too. We didn't have much growing up. His childhood was horrific, but it was always, how do you make things better? He had us do such funny things when we were kids, taking us to the senior center to sing Christmas carols with our little keyboards. And then I remember it was right when the loonie came out and the little seniors were throwing loonies at us. And we were so proud, and we took these loonies and we got out to the car, and my dad was like, I am so disappointed.
Good that you took the loonies.
And we said, why? And he said, because you guys came here to give. And you shouldn't expect anything when you're the one that was supposed to be giving something. So, of course, we turned around, went back in and left it on the counter and came out. And so, things like that. Or the funniest part I remember is growing up in Calgary, always trying to find activities for 4 kids in the summer. And he took us to the Glenmore Reservoir and he bought us a cooler. We filled it with ice and pop and water. And he was like, you guys are going to sell all of this stuff with the people running. It's a hot day. Like, this is perfect. So my sister and I sat there all day. We sold out of pop and water and we came home and we were so excited because we had all of this money. And he said, okay, well, now you owe me $25 for the cooler and $6 for the ice. And remember, it was my idea. So that's 10%. And but it kept us busy all day. And he's like, and now the next time you want to do it, all you have to pay is 10% for the idea.
Yeah.
So
you already got the other. Yeah. Yeah. So your dad must have passed away pretty young, eh?
He was 53.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Heart attack or cancer or
heart attack.
Yeah.
Well, my sisters and I were in Malaysia.
Oh, is that right, eh?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So it was pretty hard.
Yes. Yeah, I bet it was. Where are we with time here anyways?
We're
at 32 minutes. Oh my goodness. You were just going to wrap her up here, Mandy. Any closing thoughts you want to share?
No, thank you for inviting me. It was nice to meet you, Diane. I'm going to go to your website.
Nice to meet you, Mandy.
Yes, we really appreciate having you on, Mandy. It's always a pleasure. Thank you. You're an inspiration to me, so I thank you.
Yes.
Thanks, Ellen. Back at you.
All right. Keep yourself well.
Thank you.